Star Wars is all about friendship. You've got C-3PO and R2-D2, Han and Chewie, Baby Yoda, and that one ball from the Razor Crest's console. One of the most surprising friendships that Star Wars fans have been obsessing over for decades is the one between two of the roughest, toughest characters in the galaxy, Darth Vader and Boba Fett. Now, some people might think that friendship is a strong word for this particular pair, but let's look at some of their other relationships. Darth Vader pretty much strangles, insults, or throws the people he knows down a giant shaft in the Death Star too. Boba Fett is the quintessential lone wolf whose closest friends are the people he hunts bounties on. Sure, he's made quite a few buds in The Mandalorian, but a trip through a Sarlacc's stomach and a few years wandering the Dune Sea would make anyone reevaluate their life choices. These two are about as far from friendly as it gets. So what is it about Boba Fett that Darth Vader likes enough to keep him around? Well, for that, we should look over the one best friend who arguably never betrayed him. Anakin Skywalker had a rough go of it from his perspective. The Jedi refused to make him master, then he killed all of them, then he killed his girl, and then he got left for dead by his brother/father figure. So, he doesn't have fond memories of the Jedi, but he likely does of Captain Rex, his go-to clone trooper. The two of them fought together throughout the Clone Wars and forged quite the wartime alliance. Now, seeing that Boba was a clone of the same guy Rex was, it's natural that having the bounty hunter around would give him the warm and fuzzies all over again. There was likely something about fighting through rebel scum alongside Boba that was reminiscent of his better self and his better years fighting through separatist scum alongside Rex. Whether we're talking about Vader or Anakin, lightsaber carnage is forever the man's love language. Now, one of the things I don't think Vader gets enough credit for is his sense of style. Sure, he's a one-man army that's worth more than 1,000 aimless stormtroopers, but he does so with such flair. Not only that, but he's the only man who can keep up with Lando's cape game in the galaxy. So naturally, he'd be drawn to a bounty hunter who had an equal level of commitment to looking the part. This is pretty indicative of Mandalorians in general, though. While most of the rogues in the galaxy look like G.I. Joe action figures or B-movie monsters, Mandalorians bring it 100%. Whether we're talking Jango Fett, Din Djarin, Sabine Wren, or Bo-Katan, all of them walk around wearing works of art crafted by the best armorers in the galaxy. And not only that, but they have the skill to back the look up. They've got flamethrowers, jetpacks, whistling birds, and all sorts of other tricks on their sleeves. Frankly, if you're not hiring a Mandalorian, are you even serious about hiring a bounty hunter? Now, of all the Mandalorian bounty hunters we've seen, Boba Fett might be the best of the best. While his street cred wasn't really proven in the original trilogy, the moment Boba got his armor back in The Mandalorian, he showed that he was on that Darth Vader level and more. You know that the first time Vader saw Boba take out 2 transports with 1 rocket, he was like,
"This guy. I freaking love this guy."
Of course, it's always possible that the reason he kept hiring Fett was just an economic one. I mean, he certainly gets you the most bang for your buck. I mean, just look at what he did to those stormtroopers in The Mandalorian before he got his armors or weapons. I haven't seen stormtroopers wet themselves like that since Chirrut Imwe showed Jedha's finest to his boss with no sight and a big wooden stick. So you just know that Boba Fett's Imperial Yelp review was 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really excellent bounty hunting, but has a tendency toward disintegrations. Don't listen to what people tell you about how friendship is formed from shared interests or mutual respect. The strongest friendships are formed by something much deeper and much more powerful than that. Hating the exact same thing. What's the one thing that Darth Vader hates more than sand and incompetent Imperial officers? Jedi. What's the one thing that Boba Fett hates more than Sarlaccs and long sentences? Jedi. I mean, it's basically just like that scene from Step Brothers where Vader's like, "You hate Jedi? I hate Jedi. Did we just become best friends?" And Boba was like, "Affirmative." Seriously though, Vader was the one who trained a super secret squad of Inquisitors to hunt down every last remaining Jedi in the galaxy. You know that he'd be drawn to a bounty hunter who would wipe out any Jedi with the same prejudice he would, especially one who knew what enemy number 1 Obi-Wan Kenobi looked like. Likewise, Boba could have easily heard about how Vader took down the Jedi Order and the guy who took down his father, Mace Windu. Frankly, it's shocking how neither of these trained and deadly hunters were able to find Obi-Wan on Tatooine hiding under the genius pseudonym Ben Kenobi right by the Skywalker homestead, especially if you subscribe to the popular theory that Boba Fett was the one who scorched Owen and Beru instead of the stormtroopers. I mean, when have you ever known them to hit anything, let alone disintegrate an entire farm? But more than anything, I think what points to the two of them being pals is the dinner scene in Empire Strikes Back. Vader literally had an entire meal cooked and Boba waiting in the wings just to get a sick burn on Han Solo and Princess Leia. If that's not two best friends pulling their version of a prank on a shared enemy, I don't know what is. Come on, Disney Plus! Where's the James Earl Jones and Temuera Morrison starring TV show? You really want us to believe that anyone wants to see the adventures of Cassian Andor more than that? Sound off in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe to CBR if you agree.